I've been in Atlanta for 20 years. Well, 20 years ago, I came to Atlanta, and that's when I met my good friend, Mr. Ron Pullman. He helped me out a lot. I was with, started this party called Baby Powder, and I was with this friend of mine in New York, T Groove, and we started everything out. But I was still, as you call it, still new in the game. And then again, Ron helped me out. He was working at this store called Earwax, and at that time, I think you were selling cassettes.
Mixed CDs?
Yeah, mixed CDs.
Probably cassettes, but we eventually CDs.
Yeah, it was the mixed cassette. So came in there, you know, started off with 10, and just so happened, like, oh man, your cassettes were selling real good. Come back, bring another 20, and then it kept getting, you know, bigger and bigger. So, you know, we, like, again, me and T Grew, we started this party called the Baby Powder, and that went real good. We brought down people like Sting International, Sammy Rock from Cyberjam Records, Carlos Sanchez, Tyrone Francis. At the time, he was still living in New York. So we was bringing different DJs and everything like that. And then I brought Ron up to Jersey. My cousin had this club called Colors, so brought him up and let him play with me and everything. So everything went good. We had a good run, and I think at that time we was playing at Indigo. We played at this place called Indigo. We brought you and Yusef in to play at one of the Baby Powder parties. I don't even remember that.
We done so much.
Indigo. Then we had this spot called Terrazzo, and you know, different. So we had different, you know, places like that. So everything went pretty good. So I can say, you know, as far as Atlanta, Ron really helped me. He guided me, you know, different places to go. It was some places I didn't understand or didn't know certain people. He gave me a little, you know, the guidance and all that stuff. So now we here on 2023, and again, I came back, and of course I reached out to him and guidance and Derek Smoking Jones, my new Richard Long guy, Greg. He, of course, I brought the whole Richard Long sound system, which me and my cousin Flip Entertainment, we bought the whole Zanzibar sound system down here in Atlanta. So I needed someone to pretty much maintain my system. So I was introduced to my good friend Greg. So he pretty much helped me putting everything together. And of course, Derek Smoking Jones with the studio production, coming over to the house. We doing a little something with his wife and a couple artists and stuff like that. So yeah, everything is going pretty good. And I've been playing with this guy at Eagle and Future, and we just been, you know, getting everything right and stuff like that.
You know, we doing the thing, man. And again, it's Atlanta. You know, fortunately, Punch and I, as well as we bringing along other people, we doing. I think we doing a great job of keeping the scene solid here in Atlanta.
Yeah,
and there's more to come. Eventually, Derek, we'll get you guys out there, and we'll let Atlanta see what you. I mean, I know you've been doing things, but we're gonna get you out there as well. And so, yeah, man, it's just great that you are making video, or you getting documentation of what's going on, man. So this is stuff people need to know about what's happening here in Atlanta, man. Where the history started and where we are now. So I appreciate you, man, for getting this coverage, man.
Derek Smoking Jones. Okay. Far as the music, well, soulful house. Right now, you know, the tribal, the Afro. It just have that. It just give you that spirit up in you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for me, for my family, my side of the family, you know, church. My uncle owned a record shop, and my father was a professional drummer. So my father used to go to to my uncle record shop, and he used to get the records, and he'd bring them home, and he started playing them. So by him in there playing it, and my uncle Ike used to come over and play the congos, and my mother and her sisters, my aunt and them in there, they singing, and so we had that in the family, and that soul get up in you. So
I think most black families, we grew up that way. We grew up with a spiritual background and stuff. So that type of music definitely speaks to us.
My uncle owned the record shop. So my father used to go there and get the records, and he'd bring them home, and he'd play them on his drums. And then my uncle would come over and play along with my father. And then if my mother and my aunt was in there, then they'll sing and do their little gospel stuff. So you got the drummer and the congos and everything. And we always sit there like, oh wow, and amazing stuff like that. So that's what's going on, in my household with the soul food and everything. I never forget. Remember the record Bra? Do 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 do.
Samantha.
Yeah. So my father was playing, he's playing the drums, he playing it, and in the breakdown and everything. So went to Zanzibar and heard the same record on their system. And I said, it must be another version to this record, because my father played, he played the drum. So I went to my uncle record shop. I said, bro, have another version of the record. He said, no, they don't. I said, yes, they do. I said, because the version that my father be playing on the drums, it didn't sound like the one in Zanzibar. So my uncle said, well, what kind of sound system your father got in the house? The little stuff. He said, that's why. Because Zanzibar got a better sound, because you heard every instrument coming out of a 5-way system compared to my father playing the drum. Right. And that really got me into it, and it really, really hit the soul, and like, wow, ain't no way that you can hear the difference of the instruments. So you hearing one sound coming out of here, one coming out of here, and all that. So that's how it brought it to me.
Well, we have very similar backgrounds, because I grew up, my dad was a musician, gospel singer, actually had what he called a quartet, so it sounds very similar to my background. Actually, my dad is what influenced me to get into the music scene. Just growing up as a child and hearing this, growing up, him playing and practicing around the house. That's probably what influenced me to get into this. Right. That, and of course disco. But that influenced me to get into it. So we have very similar backgrounds. Right. And the music today, I just think particularly we as people of color, most of us grew up in that type of atmosphere or background. And that's why when we're listening to house, we can appreciate stuff of substance, stuff that have melodies, stuff that have vocals, that have lyrics, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to house, we tend to gravitate and appreciate that more so than the EDM stuff, where people play the big room stuff, the stuff that you basically have to be high or probably intoxicated to appreciate more so than the stuff of substance that we grew up on. Right. And that's what we got to do with this younger generation, because they listen to a lot of things that, in my personal, that's really not touching their soul. They're not feeling. It's just stuff that they just bob in their head and they just looking whatever. But if we can do something to encourage this younger generation to, hey, we don't have to keep them stuck back until disco in the 70s, but with the type of music you produce or other people produce and bringing the stuff of substance, this will help lure them in to appreciate the music that we do today. Right. And it's important that we reach out to them and bring them into this so they can keep our history and our culture going.
Right. And copying off you, where if we find a venue, back in Newark, New Jersey, I taught DJ class. So I was teaching the 5th graders up to the 8th grade. And I teach in 3 different schools with the help of Councilman, remember the Laws of the Underground, Do It All. he called me, hired me, and we, taught the schools, the kids and everything, and I basically was teaching them what we grew up on. This is what we did. So I want to, show you people and guys and girls, and we had different section in the class. We taught DJ, we taught Dupree Kelly, taught how to write songs and everything, and then we had another section in the classroom where we had kids draw. And that they can draw the album cover or the CD covers and stuff like that.
Well, that's what we'll do. We're going to find ways, whether it's starting a school here, whether we do more outdoor events to help lure and attract not only a younger generation, but other people who typically don't come to the club. We're going to find ways to entice and bring them out to gravitate to this music. Because it's crucial. It's important. We can't let what we started decades ago to just leave without us fighting this battle to keep this great music alive, man. It's really, really important. Because time is of the essence. It's crucial that we do this. I mean, seriously, it's great we're having this discussion, but we really, really need to apply this and make this happen like yesterday.
Yeah, yes, most definitely. And we're gonna end it with this, where the sound system that I have. Again, I talked to the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, and the councilman. And when we retired, I donated the whole Richard Long Zanzibar sound system to the Newark Museum. So I have it set up because I have my grandson, he's DJing and everything. So when I donate the sound system to the museum, Newark, New Jersey, I'm gonna set it up, hook it up, so we can have the kids, the young generation, come in there and they can actually play on the Richard Long Zanzibar sound system. So once we get things started here in Atlanta, when we retire and they're going back to Newark, New Jersey, the whole entire sound system.
Well, I'm not retiring anytime soon. So don't call. I'm not old.
I said when we retired, that time gonna come.
I'm not old. I'm still 25. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yep.